Alright folks, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and for the 10 of us that pulled for Gallade, okay, it's probably obviously more than 10 of us, exaggeration, although I do see a lot of people actually commenting down on my videos about them pulling for Gallade, which I'm extremely surprised by. I didn't think so many people would pull for Gallade, especially considering the whole Lucario situation, right? So, anyways, yeah, let's get into this then. So, as usual, we're going to go through different builds with at 1 sync, 2 sync, 3 sync. Also, from now on, probably going to also incorporate, lucky skills into these videos, right? Because they kind of matter, sort of, a bit, not really, for, in terms of which, what kind of build that you're trying to go for. So, 1 out of 5 Gallade is not the greatest. It's not terrible either because you got move gauge regens for all your attacking moves, which is actually not that common. So I'll take it. But yeah, 1 out of 5 Gallade, you don't have much to put in here, right? Um, Obviously, you want to choose if you want to go for Focus Blast or Close Combat, right? You can't really go for both. You could pick up Natural Remedy, which cures status conditions, right? You could go pick up Dire Hit, MP Refresh, which is nice, and then pick up some more stats, I guess. You don't really have many options. So basically, your 1 out of 5 build is just every single node, except for the close combat nodes and the low sweep nodes. If you're going for Focus Blast, and if you're going for close combat, then all the close combat nodes are not any of the Focus Blast or low sweep nodes. Pretty straightforward. So, moving on to 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 Gallade is actually pretty interesting, alright? It's actually a pretty solid grid, for a 2 out of 5 unit. Probably better than even a few 3 out of 5 grids, right? Because you have all the good stuff in here. Well, I wouldn't say all the good stuff, so you're still missing some really good stuff. But you have a decent amount of good stuff here, right? You got Focus Blast accuracy. You got both entries. Oh, actually, no, you don't. I thought you... That's cakewalk. But okay, you got Grand Entry, at least, right? You got Grand Entry in here. You got Focus Blast accuracy up in there. You got, again, the both MP refreshes for your stat buffing moves. And you have Ramming Speed, which... extra 30% damage, right? When your speed is maxed out, which is really nice. And then, yeah, that's basically it for 2 out of 5, right? So in terms of builds, 2 out of 5, I'd honestly suggest just going for Focus Blast instead of Close Combat. Just because you have Grand Entry, right? And this is we're talking about Villa right now, right? If you don't really care about a Villa build here, then sure, you go for a Close Combat because there's not much difference here, right? So, let's just talk about Close Combat first. So, if you're going for Close Combat, you probably want to go ahead and pick up a Close Combat, all the Close Combat nodes, obviously. And then Ramming Speed, because you want that as well. Actually, you don't have to go through that. You can go through that, just pick up Dire Hit, MP Refresh. Oh, but if you're not doing Villa, then you don't need that, actually. Yeah, it's better to pick up the extra stats here, and saves you some orbs. So, and Natural Remedy, if you really want it, you don't really need it, honestly. So that's basically all you need for a Close Combat build, right? All the other stuff, just fill out stats and whatnot, right? Don't need special attack. I guess that's all, right? Just basically all the non low sweep and Focus Blast and special attack nodes. There you got your 2 out of 5, right? And the non MP refreshes for your non Villa close combat build, right? As for a budget build of that, oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about a budget build for 1 out of 5. For a budget build, basically all you need, honestly, is just the move gauge regens. If you're going for close combat, just go for close combat move gauge regen. Obviously, if you could pick up the extra power-ups, that would be nice as well. If you can't afford that, then that's fine as well. And maybe the Dire Hit MP Refresh. And then, there you go. That's all you got, or all you need for the Dire Hit stuff. And for Focus Blast, same thing, except you pick up Focus Blast over here instead. And all the Focus Blast power-up is, 1 more. It costs 1 more, but it's, Focus Blast power-up, so I'd probably go with that instead of the speed over here. Anyways, to 2 out of 5 for close combat. you could you could go over or like a budget build for that, right? You just go pick that up and basically ramming speed. Everything else is kind of whatever, right? Um, the power ups would be nice, but again, if you don't want to spend orbs on that, that's also understandable. I personally probably would go for those as well. So yeah, for a Focus Blast build, so Focus Blast build is generally what you probably want to use in Villa, right? For the most part. So all this stuff: Focus Blast, Move Gauge Regen, Grand Entry, Focus Blast Accuracy, Focus Blast Power, +2, and over here the Dart Hit, refresh, the ramming speed, and then the Here I Come refresh, which is nice, but I also don't think it's like the biggest deal in the world if you don't pick this one up. Here I Come is Here I Come is weird, right? Because if you refresh it, it's you mainly just gain that +1 attack, which isn't like, or 1+1 special attack, which isn't like the biggest deal in the world. Um, but it's cool to have, I guess. The accuracy, you don't really need it because I mean you just need it once, right? But obviously MP refreshes on multiple stages, it's fine. You could pick that up. But as for for the last 7, just pick up stat nodes. Obviously, nothing else here. But for a budget build for this one, you go ahead, pick up. Oops, let's not pick that up. You need accuracy. You don't want Focus Blast to start missing, and all that, right? And then over here, just pick up ramming speed. That's basically it for budget build for close combat. And moving on to 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 is where things get interesting. And I'm not like the biggest fan of Gallade's grid either, right? For the exact opposite reason of Lucario's grid, or at least Gallade's 3 out of 5 grid. Lucario's grid has is because it doesn't have much to really pick up off, but Gallade is like the exact opposite. There's like way too many power-ups that you just can't, and they're all dispersed all over the place. You can't like pick everything up. So unfortunately, for the most part, we won't be getting this critical strike. Although it's only like a 10% decrease, or 10% less damage, it's still really good. I would really like to have it. It would be cool if in the future we get energy expansions, but there's more of a first world problem, right? But yeah, let's go over it. So at 3 out of 5, I think both close combat and Focus Blast are equally viable. Focus Blast does do more damage, that's for sure, right? Even though Gallade has more physical attack than special attack, Focus Blast just does more damage, right? In terms of its damage, it just hits harder than close combat ever hits. So, but again, close combat, that's fine as well. If you don't want to play with the accuracy, even though you do have the accuracy buff, and then with the Heracom, you got MP, MP refreshes on that. You also got accuracy buffs on Heracom. But yeah, generally Focus Blast just hits harder, right? So, speaking of, let's talk about a Focus Blast build then. Focus Blast build, it depends on, again, if you want to do Villa or not, right? If you don't need Villa, then Focus Blast build just becomes so much easier, right? Just you don't even need the accuracy because again, without Villa, you don't need to worry about that. You just get the Heracom. You just use both your Heracoms and you'll have maximum accuracy on that, right? And then go down here, pick up ramming speed, quick cure into critical strike 1, and then you got some extra stuff where you could throw into I guess speed, special attack, all that stuff, right? So that's for a non Villa build. Well, there's a different way of going about this. If you don't have any supports and co-op, then you could pick up Grand Entry as well, or Move Gauge Refresh. No, go for Grand Entry, don't go for Move Gauge Refresh on that. But yeah, that's a non-Villa build you could do for Gallade, right? And a Villa build for Gallade is pretty similar for the most part, except you probably want accuracy here instead, right? So you probably want to pick up the accuracy, maybe lose a bit of the Focus Blast power-ups, unfortunately, but yeah, just make sure your Focus Blasts don't miss, because it'd be kind of cringe if they miss. And then last bit of energy, pick up some speed, right? Personally, I'm a huge fan of picking up speed stat boost over, well, you don't have enough energy for special stack anyways, but yeah, pick up some speed instead, and there you go. Oh, you probably want this special attack up note as well, right? And also depending on what stages you're facing, you could also instead of a quick cure, go down, get the MP refresh on that, and then take away that extra bit of speed, right? You go for that the MP refresh on that as well to have a quick cure. Although quick cure really isn't like that big of a deal. You know what? You should probably always go for it. It's okay on stages where you're sure you're not going to use Here I Come, then don't do that, right? And if you're going to use Here I Come, then no need for the Focus Blast accuracy either. You can just go for the power ups. Also, for Gallade's lucky skill, Critical Strike is really good. I definitely recommend for a lot of units. You could either go with Critical Strike, Power Flux 3. They're all based on preference, right? For Gallade, I definitely do think Critical Strike is so much better, right? Just because Gallade has +1 crit when you get to Mega, right? You get +1 crit. So you're basically, even if you don't use Dire Hit at all, you're at 50% crit, right? And obviously, if you do use at least one Dire Hit, you're at 80% crit. And there you go. And again, you do have MP refresh on Dire Hit and all that stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. So as for I guess close combat build, in terms of that, you obviously want to come down and get close combat, right? All this stuff. You want fierce entry. Again, this is for more of a Villa build. You want stats quo as well, unless you're doing Enlightenment 9 on Gallade, which I personally really don't recommend. It's 6 energy. It's not that big of a deal. Get the 6 energy. Use your lucky skill on Chris Drake 2 instead, and then as for the other stuff, just go ahead and pick up again stuff like ramming speed. Oh, you can't pick up that up. Yeah, go over quick cure and then pick up Cruel Strike. And again, if you need the Here I Come MP refresh for some reason, which I really don't think you need it, because like with close combat you don't need the accuracy stuff. Like honestly, the Here I Come is more for accuracy than anything. It's more for focus blast, so I really don't think you need it most of the time. But if you want to go for like the Dire Hit MP refresh, which is fine, right? You could probably do that instead, and then drop drop both of these close combat power ups, which leaves you with this, right? As for any budget builds, for again, if we're talking about Villa, right? For Focus Blast, we probably want something like that at least. I'd probably still go for ramming speed, honestly. Into Cruel Strike, that saves you 6 energy worth of orbs, which is a lot, right? And then I guess for close combat, you can't really save that much. Aside from just the power ups for close combat, which I don't even know if you like. Honestly, I probably just pick them over. You know what? Just go Critical Strike over here and then pick these two up. It's only 4 in comparison to ramming speed, which is 10. So I'd probably do that instead for a close combat budget build. But yeah, lucky skill, I definitely recommend Critical Strike 2. Powerflux 3 is fine. It's not bad. It's still fine. And Enlightenment 9 is also an option, although again I'm not a huge fan. Also again, do keep in mind both close combat and Focus Blast are both viable for Gallade, right? Close combat or Focus Blast does more damage. The accuracy is slightly suspect, but again, you could always fix that with the accuracy plus, or the Here I Come with Here I Come MP refresh potentially, right? And all that stuff. And I do think Critical Strike 2 is clear cut better than Powerflux 3 in this scenario. So anyways, that's me for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for some more Pokemon content. I'll see you guys in the next one.